Hi all, today I'll show you the process of creating a one screen for mobile application. I will use Swift language and UIKit framework. This is the result we will get at the end of this video, so let's begin. Let's check the design. I have a sketch file, messages. It's kind of a list of chat rooms. I think we can ignore navigation elements. It's a bottom part and top part because it's not part of this screen. Okay, let's make a new project. Open Xcode, select new app, next. Let's create a new folder. I give a name messages, create. This is our project. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And structure of project, we have app delegate, scene delegate, view controller, main storyboard, assets for pictures, launch screen, and list file. Let's add a new element. It will be a UI button. Put it in center. Add constraints, vertical and horizontal. And also let's change title to show messages. Let's add another view controller. And also create new Swift file. Give a name messages view controller. We will use this file to implement logic of our view controller. I'll add class. As a super class, I will use UI view controller, and name will be a messages view controller. Now we can use this class in our storyboard. We can assign view controller name. Also, we can add in navigation view controller. And add new UI element, which will be a table view. Assign a constraints 0, 0, 0. So it will be occupying whole space of our screen. Also, bring table view cell as a default element. And footer of table. Now we can implement logic for our button. Let's create new IB outlet, weak var button. And class UI button. And also we can add IB action function. Normally I just give a same name, button, tapped, and sender UI button. This is action for our button. And also let's implement function. Every time a user click our button, we will call this function. We can give a name show messages. Go back to storyboard and let's connect our UI element to our code. Connect IB outlet to button and connect touch up inside action to button tapped. Let's set storyboard ID. It will be same as a class messages view controller. And also we can connect data source and delegate options to our class. I can just copy this line and just rename it to UI table view and table view property. Also make a initial function for UI view controller lifecycle view.load. And also let's make extension with logic for table view delegate and table view data source. We need to implement 3 main functions, which will be our number of sections, at this moment just return 1. Second function, number of rows in section, let's return 0 at this moment. And last function is cell for row at index path. We can just return basic UI table view cell by default. Later we will improve it. At this moment we can connect our table view to IB outlet we've created before. And also let's make simple array. I'll call it messages. At this moment it could be just array of strings. And let's implement function for this for fetching cell. Normally we don't create new cell every time, we just fetch it from table view by identifier. I give it basic ID cell and let's return it. Also based on index path we can fetch item from array. It will be a message, and then we can display this message in our cell. Cell has a label. I forgot the name. Let's jump to class and see. Yeah, so we have text label, and then we can use it here. Cell.text label, and label has property text dot text equal message. Also let's make a function to set some default values for messages array. I'll call it setup data, and we will call it every time when user open view controller. Messages equal array. You just can return some hello 1, hello 2, hello 3. I think 5 elements should be okay, should be enough. After we set array, we can call a function reload data. Also, we can improve function for number of sections because now we have messages.count. Let's write the code to show second screen. Go back to first screen view controller, and for that we need to create storyboard first. Based on name, we have main storyboard. Bundle is nil. From storyboard we can fetch view controller based on identifier we have been set before. So ID is same as class name, messages view controller, and then we have view controller which we can return, or actually we don't need to return, we can just show it directly from here. Self.show view controller sender nil. Now we can build project. I can use iPhone 13. Okay, show messages, and this is our table with 5 elements. When I go back, okay, let's stop. I think we can improve it a little bit. If we go to view.load, self.title, I can set title. If you run again, you can see that now we have messages as title. At this moment, when I click elements, it has some color selection, so let's disable this. Table view dot allow selections equal false. Run again, and now when I click, there's no any color for selection. Also, we can remove number of section function because by default it's actually 1. So if I run it again, you can see that nothing changed. Still 5 elements. Okay, go back. Now we're ready to implement custom UI table view cell. Let's create new file. Cacao touch class. Subclass will be a UI table view cell. And name message cell, and also we can create a zip file. Select folder, create. This is default implementation. Just we can delete some basic function and clean code a little bit. And this is our nib file. Now it's empty, so we will be copy logic and UI from sketch file. In our sketch file, we have avatar, we have one label, another one, 3 labels, and also some marker view as a line, purple line. Go back to Xcode. Let's set height as 80. Let's check size. The avatar is 36 pixels. First, we can add first element, UI image view, drag it to our cell and make smaller. Let's set 40 pixels at this moment. And offset 20 pixels from left. Let's set constraints. 20, 10 from top. I add 2 constraints, and also height and width 40. Another element will be label. Let's see, color, copy it, medium 18 and offset 15. Let's remember, go back to Xcode and color, custom, copy from sketch file. Also set constraints 16. Normally we just use even numbers. It's a good practice. Also 10 from top. Okay, we have first label. Go back, sketch file. See second label, size 14, regular. Just copy paste this label. Same color, and go back. Set as 14. Just make a constraints. Okay, set. I think we can change compression, vertical, and hugging. Yeah, so now there's no red warnings, and we have 2 labels. We can set lines 2. Okay, so we have different opacity, 60 for second label. I think we need to go to color section and set opacity to 60. Okay. And for first label, opacity is also not a 100, it's 86. Go back to color. (86). Next step, for our custom cell, we need to register our class and our nib to our table. So I use ID as class name again. Go back to message to controller and let's create new function. I'll call it setup UI. Table view dot register nib. Let's create a nib equal UI view nib name message cell bundle nil. Next, use same ID as a class name. And also in this function we will call it in view.load, and we can move other code under that function. Rename to load data, and move these few lines under setup UI view function, so our code looks a bit cleaner. And also let's improve our function. So now we can return our custom cell. Let's go back to our custom class and create two labels. Again, IB outlet weak var label title, and second one will be message. Now we can reuse our labels. Let's replace it with label title and also label message. At this moment I just set same value message to both labels. Let's run project. Okay, we have some errors. Yeah, so we need to make it not optional. And also let's connect our UI to our code. Label title and label message. Go back to class, and also we can just add UI image view for avatar. And also connect it to IB outlet. If I build project again, okay, it works. Just run it. Now you can see we have our custom cell. But image view is empty, so we cannot see it now. Let's set some background color to make it visible. I can make some array of colors. Just some default colors: red, blue, brown, yellow. Okay, and then we'll just return a random element from our array. Now we can see different avatars. Also, let's make it rounded. Layer dot corner radius equal, we can set half of width. Bounds dot width divide to 2, and also let's make sure that we have clips to bounds. Enable it. Run again. Now it's rounded. Let me check I think we forgot to set it as medium. Okay, if run again, now it's medium. Looks better. And also we can remove lines between cells. Just go back to main storyboard, select table view, and change this setting to known. Run again. Now, as you can see, we don't have any lines between this view. And let's put it together with sketch file. And what do we have? It looks more like similar. Looks better. Now it's time to display real data. For that, let's create class. I'll name it message. Class message. And we have few parameters: username and type string optional. Another one, message, or let's call it text. Also one class function, get messages, which will give us an array of messages. Let's create variable result and return the result. And in between we'll create few messages with real data. I will copy information from sketch file. Just one by one. First select all. It will be username, and second label will be a text of our object. And also we need to append to array. I'll just copy it. Now we are ready to improve message cell. Let's create function configure and provide message object. And also we can create a property message where we can store message object. In the function we will set message and also display our information. Label title equal message username, and label message equal message text. Also we need to improve message view controller. Now we can replace array of strings with array of messages. Also improve this function, message dot get messages, and also now we just call the function we've created previously and provide message. Let's build. And yeah, now we can see this information. Now let's add this marker view. This is color, purple, and width is 2 pixels, and offset 20 pixels. Copy color. Go back to our message cell nib, and let's add UI view. And we can just copy color. And let's make small size of this view, same as in our design. Also the constraints will be 20 and 2 pixels width, and for height I will set top and bottom constraints as 6 pixels. Also make it clips to bounds true. Now we can connect this property in our class. I'll name it view marker. And by default we can hide it. Is hidden equal true. And set layout corner radius as, let's say, 2 pixels or 1. Now we can connect our UI with our property. And also we need to improve message class. We need to store value for our marker. It will be a boolean property. Let's name it is highlighted. It could be false by default. And here we can just set this data. Message 1 equal is, or better just make it in message controller. So when we get message, we will choose randomly true or false. So every time when we display UI, it will be just random selected values. And in message view cell, we can use this value from message is highlighted. Let's build. And because random element return optional value, we need to make it non-optional. Let's make build again. Successful. And now, as you can see, we have this purple line randomly appears every time when we display these elements. Okay, if we go back to sketch file and check background color, as you can see, it's a little bit gray. I can copy this color, FA. So we need to set it in our project as well. Go back to messages view controller, and we can set to table view dot background color equal UI color. Actually, we can just set this not programmatically. We can just use UI editor. Go back to main storyboard. Select messages view controller, table view. Go to preferences and change background color. Select custom, copy paste the color from sketch, and it's changed to gray. Also, we can select a root view of view controller. Also, we can change it to gray color. We have a bottom view in table view, which we also can set to gray color. And we have a cell itself. We can also set background color here. Actually, it's already gray. And cell has content view, which we also changed to gray color. Let's build a project and see difference. Okay, so now our cells has gray color, but bottom and top area still white. So let's see in inspector why this area is white. So this inspector helps to analyze hierarchy of the screen. As you can see, there's a lot of elements. We have 5 cells and table view. For better viewing, we can just rotate this a little bit and change scaling. So we have navigation controller, and we have messages view controller, then we have table view, and we have cells. This is our screen. Let's cut some elements, unnecessary elements, for better understanding. Okay, so we can see the white area. This is a table view, and as you can see, we have color, we have background, but this is gray. This is separator color. Okay, so this is the background color, which is white. Table background color. Go back to main storyboard. Select table view again. See where is background color. So we changed this property, which is actually not correct. We need to change this one. Okay, select RGB and paste color from sketch. Let's build again and see if this works this time. Okay, now whole screen is gray. Looks great. Okay, let's see what we can develop next. I will put our app together near with design so we can compare. As you can see, we have missed hello John. It's a table header. Also, we don't have avatars and time label. I think we can focus on time label first. Go back to Xcode. Go to our UI. Let me adjust this for better working environment. Add label and see properties of this label. We have font 10, bold, color 26. Let's copy value. Opacity 35%. Go back to Xcode, and also offset is 10, 28. Okay. Let's adjust font to 10, make it bold, and set color to 26, and also adjust opacity to 35. Okay, looks good. For offset, let's copy value. Also set constraints. 10 from top, 28 from right. I think 2 should be enough for us. 10, 28. We can skip this, add 2 constraints. Okay, also align right. For title label, I will remove. Let's adjust them. So I select 2 items and set vertical centers. So now 2 labels aligned. Also I remove right constraint from title and set new, which will be connected to time label. Let's have a 10 pixels between them. It displays red because we need to specify rules, because it's 2 elements together in horizontal level. So I just adjust it, and now we can add new property in our message model. So it will be title, time, string, and then I add it to each item. We can just copy value from design, and I'm going to assign it to each element. Just change message ID for each one. Okay, now we have time for all our items. Let's build project and see how it will be. Before that, we need to connect a new label time outlet. Let me copy this. It will be label time. We can go back to zip file and connect label time to our cell. So now we can set values from our model message dot time. Let's build project and see result. Yeah, now we have label around near to every element. Looks good. Okay, next what we can develop is avatars. Let me add new page in Sketch, and then add new artboard. Just random space, and I will copy avatar spec image. Then I create another artboard, and size would be 120. Okay, maybe we can just enlarge a little bit. Let's set 150. Okay, should be enough. Then I'm going to save few avatars for our demo. Just place one by one and export as a PDF file. We double check that background also has a color selected. We put white. Select artboard. Change extension to PDF. And then remove extra files. Export. Let me create new folder. Create. And I'm just save it as 0.1. Second. Two. Next one. Export 03. Another one. Zero 04. And last one. I think 5 should be okay. Make sure it's centered. Export 05. Okay, go back Xcode and just drag and drop our pictures to asset folder. I'll change render as original image and single scale because it's PDF format. So we can see size 150 pixels. Go to yeah, I think we can just can set randomly pictures here. Let's try first image. I'll create image named 01 and see how it works. Okay, so everywhere we have first picture. Let's make it random. For that, I'm going to create an array of images, avatars. So I'll put all names we have, 01 up to 05. And then we just randomly will choose element from that array. So it will be an image name, avatars.random element, and then we can use that random name to display image in our cell. Now when I run, you can see that all pictures randomly selected. Always when I open screen, we have different set of pictures. So this is working fine. Okay, last element we need to implement in our screen is a table header view. Let's go back to main storyboard. Select our table view. And then we add new UI element, UI view, drag and drop inside of table view as a first element, We have label. Size of label is 60 pixels height. 54 is a bottom offset. Let's set height of header view as 120 pixels at this moment. And set background color as light gray. And also add label. We have offset 60 and left, 60 bottom. Let me copy message. We have medium and 18 pixels font size. Just paste it here. Change font size to medium. And let's increase height of table header view as 150. Left offset will be 60. Let's set bottom as 40. And right could be 40 as well. We can see only one line. Let's change settings to 2 lines. Now we can see full message. And color for text 26, and it's 86% opacity. Let's set these settings. Color, copy paste, and also change transparency to 86%. Run again. This is what we got as result. If you want to learn how to make mobile applications, or you need a developer for some of your projects, then feel free to email me. I'm sure I can help you. For those who need the source code for this particular project, please subscribe on Patreon. I will also post future projects there and also access to the source code.